Hey guys, in this video we're going to be looking at a few different things, okay? So we're going to look at post types or post formats. Now, right now if we look at our theme, we have just basically one kind of post, and it's just a standard blog post. So we can also have things like galleries, links, images, quotes, status updates, things like that, and we can format these different types of posts in different ways. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that, how to add that to our theme. Also, we're going to look at a function called getTemplatePart, and that allows us to stop repeating ourselves. For instance, if we look in our index page, we have this this while have posts, and then we're just outputting our posts. Same thing in the archive. Okay, we're doing the same thing here. We're doing the same thing in search PHP, and so on. So we want something that's gonna stop us from repeating ourselves over and over. Okay, I know that each of these files have minor changes, but we can implement that inside of a specific content file. Okay, so I think the best thing to do is to just jump in and show you. So let's go to index.php, and what we want to look at is everything that is inside of this while loop. Okay, so our post loop, and I'm gonna just go ahead and grab it all. So it's basically that article tag to the ending article tag, and we're going to cut that, and then I'm going to create a new file and save it as content.php. Alright, and then we're going to just paste that in there. Let me just bring this back. Alright, so we'll save that, and then what we'll do is go back to index, and in its place we're going to say PHP, and then we're going to use get template part. Alright, and then in here we want to pass in the name of the file which we just created, which is content. Alright, so we'll save that and make sure content PHP is saved as well, and if we reload it looks the exact same, which is what we want. Okay, so now let's take a look at archive PHP. Alright, so we have some of the same stuff here. The idea is to get everything that's in the while loop into that content file. So let's go ahead and cut this out. Alright, and then go to content PHP. Now this is a little different than, well, it's quite different than what we have for regular blog posts. Alright, so what we can do is we can use a conditional. Okay, and we can check to see if this is an archive or a search result page. Alright, so to do that, we're going to say PHP, and we're going to open up an if statement here. Actually, I'm going to use the shorthand. Okay, we're also going to have an else. Alright, so the if statement, it's going to say if is underscore search. Okay, so what this means is that if we're on a search results page, so if we search for something and this comes up, okay, it's checking to see if we're on this page. Alright, we can also check to see if it's on a category or an archive, not just category, but any kind of archive. So let's say or is archive. Alright, if this is true, then we want to just output what we just copied from the archive post page. Alright, so we'll just go like that. Okay, else, if it's not search or archive, then we want this. So I'm going to just grab all this and cut, and then we'll just paste that inside of the else. Alright, save it, and then in archive we also want what we put in the index file, which is this. So we'll copy that, paste that right there, and save. Alright, so if we go and we reload the search page, it should look the exact same. Alright, and just to make sure it's coming from the content file, we'll just say test, reload. Okay, so that's not giving us test. Let's see. Oh, that's because we didn't put it in the search. We only put it in archive. So let's test that first. Okay, so if I click on this category name, you can see we're getting test. All right. So what we want to do is, just like we did in the archive where we put this get template part, we want to copy that and then put that in the search page as well. All right, so it's the same exact code as we have here, so we can just paste that in. All right, and then if we do a search, now we get this test. Okay, so we know that it's coming from this content page in this conditional. So save that. Okay, all right, so that's all set. Now we can also implement our content PHP inside of the single as well, okay? Because if we look at single, we have a lot of the same stuff that we had in the index, okay? We have an article tag. I think the only difference is that we're using the excerpt inside of the blog roll, and also we have the read more link that's not in the single. So what we can do is let's just let's see, we're gonna go from the article tag to the ending article tag, and let's just paste that in the get template part, save it. Now if we go to a single page now, okay, we lost that that single page formatting. So what we want to do here is go into the content PHP page and just add some conditionals where we want things to be different. So for instance, the excerpt, we want to say PHP if okay, so we can say if is single. Okay, if it is single, then we want the content. If not, then we want the excerpt. So we'll paste that in and then get rid of that. Okay, so let's go back to the single page, reload, and now we have our content back. We also want to get rid of this read more, so let's go down to where that is. And actually, we don't even need to do another conditional. We can just grab it and put it right here. All right, so then it won't show up on the single page anymore. So you can see how we've saved ourselves from repeating ourselves, okay? So now archive, inside the while loop, we just have this one line. Same thing with the other pages, search, single, and index. So now what I want to do is get into the post formats. All right, so let's add a gallery type. All right, so what we want to do is first go to our functions PHP file, and we need to enable these different formats that we want to use. So we can go right under this where we registered the nav menus, and let's say post format support, and we'll say add theme support, and we want to add post formats. All right, and then the second parameter will be an array of the types of formats we want. So I'm going to choose 3. We're going to take that aside, gallery, and link. All right, and if we look at the documentation, okay, in the documentation, these are the supported formats. So we're using aside, gallery, and link, but we also have image, quote, status, video, audio, and chat. All right, so you might want to take a look at that. So let's go ahead and save this. And since we put that in there, if we go to our posts and let's say add new, you'll now see we have this format box on the side where we can choose what format we want for our post. All right, now as it is, it's not going to do anything different. So let's say, let's do an aside. So we'll say sample aside, and let me just grab, I'm going to grab some content. We'll just take this. And let's just paste that in. Okay, we'll choose aside. We'll choose business as a category and publish. Alright, so if we go to our front end and reload, you can see that we have our aside, but it's no different than these posts. Okay, the point of this is to have this show up differently. Alright, now the way we can do that is when we go to, let's say, index, where we put this get template part, we want to pass in a second parameter of get post format. Okay, that's a function, and that's going to allow it to see what type of what post format it is. So we're going to go ahead and just replace all the get template parts with this, with the second parameter. So we want to go to archive, paste that in. Let's go to search and single. Okay, so now what we want to do is for each format we want to create a content file. So let's say new file, and we're going to save this as content-aside.php. Alright, we'll also create content-gallery.php, and finally content-link.php. Okay, so now these different files, we can make our formats look differently. Alright, so let's start with the aside. Okay, this is going to be very simple. We'll have an article tag. We'll give it a class of post and also post aside. Alright, I don't want to have any images or any of that stuff. We just want the actual content and the author and date. And I'm going to put this in a div with the class of well, which is a bootstrap class. And then in here we're going to use a small tag, and let's put in the author. Okay, and you can kind of think of this as like a status update. And let's put the @ sign, and then we'll do PHP the date. Okay, and then right under it we'll put the content. Alright, just that's it. So we'll save it, and if we go back and reload, you can see that this post has changed, okay, because it's coming from this content aside file. Now I want to make this look a little better, so what we'll do is go into our style sheet, and we'll go down to where we have the article stuff, and let's say article dot post aside. And actually we don't want to do the core element, we want the small. I just want to make this text bold, so we'll say font weight bold. Okay, we also want to format the well. Okay, so for this I want to change the background from gray to a light blue, so this will be E0EEFC, and I just want to add some padding. Alright, so let's take a look at that, and now you can see that that's formatted differently. So that takes care of aside. Now let's do the link. Okay, so we'll go into content-link.php, and let's copy what we have in aside. Alright, and then what we'll do is let's change this to link, and we're going to keep the well class. Alright, but this is going to be different. So we're going to get rid of that. We're going to put an A tag, and then this is going to go to PHP. We're going to say PHP echo get the content. Alright, and then in here we want to echo the title, and that's it. And now if we go back into our posts and we say add new, this time we're going to choose a link, and then up here we'll say get awesome web dev courses at Eduonix, and then in here we just want to put a link. Alright, and that's it. So let's see, we'll go ahead and say publish and go back and reload, and now you can see we have a link, okay, which goes to eduonix.com. We want to format that to look a little better, so we're going to go back here and say .post link. Actually, we just want the well. Okay, we're going to say background. Background is going to be just light gray, and we'll say padding 10 pixels. Okay, so now we have a formatted link. Okay, so we have our regular posts, we have a side content or status updates, and we have links. So the last one we're going to look at is the gallery. So let's go to contentgallery.php, and this is actually going to be very simple. Okay, we're going to do article class post gallery. Okay, and all we want in here, we want to do an H2, and we'll say the title, and then we just want the content. And that's it. Alright, now what we'll do is go to add new post. Now I want to go to add media and then create gallery. Alright, so we have some images in here, but I want to upload some more, and you should have these in your files. Let me just okay, so I'm going to upload some of these. Get that one. Alright, so that's what, 5? That's fine. We're just going to click all of these images and say create new. Actually, before I do that, yeah, create new gallery, and then you want to make sure that all of these are in there. And let's see, that's good. And then insert gallery, and make sure the gallery is chosen on over here on the side. We'll put this in entertainment and say publish. Alright, so let's go back and reload, and there's our gallery. And if we want to edit it, we can go back in and you can choose this pencil icon here and you can edit. Alright, now right now they're linked to go to the attachment page, but I want them to actually go to the media file. Alright. Okay, so when you click on them, it's just going to go to the image file. You can change that. You can have it go to a page, or you could implement some kind of Lightbox plugin if you wanted to as well, but we're not going to get into that. Okay, now what I want to do here is go to my CSS file, and we want to just add some styles. So I'm going to say article.post gallery, and we're going to add a dark background. Okay, color will be white. We're going to add some padding. We'll say 510, and then margin top will be 5. Okay, so let's save that and reload, and there we go. Okay, so now we can post a gallery. Alright, so that's going to do it for post formats. I will see you in the next video.